What's up, everyone? Welcome again to your Third and 10 podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Nguyen, joined by my guy, Brian Germinal. We hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. We have a lot to talk about today as we are on episode 4 of our division preview series for this year. So far, we've discussed the AFC East, the AFC North, the AFC South, and we'll wrap up the AFC today with the AFC West, which consists of the Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, Las Vegas Raiders, and Denver Broncos. But before we start, Brian, good to see you, my friend, as always. How are you?
I wish I had much confidence as the Carolina Hurricanes social media admin on Twitter because he just posted an email from the VP he got, and it might be one of the dumbest emails of all time. So the VP saw that Taylor Swift was trending on his timeline. So this is what he sent out to their social media team. Hey, I'm seeing a bunch of stuff on our timeline about Taylor Swift. Have we ever thought about collaborating with her somehow? Let me know if I can help. Did this man just live under a rock for the past, I don't know,
Did he just
decade?
realize that Swift exists?
Did he just realize that Taylor Swift is really big right now? Like, no, he's not collaborating with the Carolina Hurricanes. Like, how stupid do you have to be?
That's when you talk about someone that's being slow. That's an example right there. Like, come on,
I
really?
would love to know who wrote this email and what age they are, because they have to be over the age of 60, right?
Has to be because they're not. They probably just like heard about her through their kids, or like you mentioned, they saw through social media, and then they were just
That's
like,
what he said in the email. He said, I saw it on social media that Taylor Swift is really popular right now. Yeah, she's
out
been
of
really popular for the past decade, buddy. Where have you been?
but it's like you
Did you
found her
miss
out.
the Eras tour where it
Yeah, I was
literally
gonna say that's what I meant to
increased
say.
the GDP of the United States? The
That's
gross
what I meant.
domestic
Yeah,
product went up because Taylor Swift was on tour.
yeah, that's what I meant. Cause I was just like, because right now she's not that okay. I guess she is popular now because of the
No, she's
whole.
popular again. She just released an album. Well, it's
That's what it was.
announced an
Yeah,
album. So, but no, she's always popular. She's always
yeah.
popular.
So I guess for it took.
Say anything, Swift. Like we're gonna do numbies right now because we're even having a brief conversation about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, our views just jumped up on Twitter. Talking about Taylor Swift right now. So, no, but otherwise, yeah, not the best look you want from.
No, I wish I had much confidence that social media intern because he was like, "Man, this is a dumb email. You know who needs to see this? The entire world."
Exactly, fan post.
Yeah, it's like, man, I know a few places where I get you fired.
There you go. But no, otherwise, yeah, Swift's album came out today. I heard she did it on the the New Heights podcast, the
I don't know if
Travis
she did it
Kelce
on the podcast, but yeah, she was on the podcast. I'm not sure if that's where she announced it or is that like her media tour of it, but yeah, she's on the podcast.
you know, some sort of like a website, like her website or like
I
I
heard like
don't
at
know
midnight
what it
she announced
was.
it. I'm like, well, I don't know if the podcast came out at midnight, so I don't know.
True, but good for her though. She's not as quote unquote annoying, and I say it's a loose. I say that loosely.
We don't like Taylor Swift because we just want to watch a football game and not just constantly
That's
pander to
simply
Taylor
it.
Swift.
That's
That's it.
simply it.
Like if Taylor Swift wasn't shown 100 times a game during a football game, I really could care less about what she does. She has some good songs, has some songs that I don't like, but you know what? She's
Yeah,
she got some nice nostalgic, some growing up in the 2000s, you listen to Taylor Swift on the radio all the time. Like that's just how she would be. Just a pop star that I listen to sometimes.
Huge respect to her. She gets numbers. As ESPN wants to go off, and we'll talk about ESPN actually in just a bit here. No, but she puts up numbers whenever she has concerts, whenever she releases albums like she did today. Those sales are gonna go through the roof as always. She's gonna have a lot of songs streamed on Spotify. I guarantee you, once I hop on Spotify for the first time today, I'm gonna see, oh, Taylor Swift album just came out. Listen to this song right now.
I don't think it's out yet. I think she just announced it.
Really? I thought it came out today.
I mean, I could be dead wrong. I think she just announced. The new album is coming. It's coming.
Oh so maybe I'm just as bad as the old guy. I'm behind as hell. But so my
12th studio album. I mean, that's impressive.
So whenever that does come out, I'm probably gonna forget that when I'm not gonna remember the date that's gonna come out if she announced that date already at all.
She didn't announce the date yet. I think she just said coming. I'm like scanning through this article really, really fast, and I don't really see. Yeah.
I'm just as bad, bro.
Yeah, I don't know when it's come out. Probably in a couple months.
Okay, well, I'm just as bad as the other guy. I'm just gonna just say that straight up. But hey, I tell you what I'm not bad at is talking football, and we got a lot of ball to talk about in this episode because hey, division previews they take a long time, but it's because we cover each team in depth and we give our thoughts on them. So without further ado, let's get started. So we'll go from best to worst from last year, just like we've done the past 3 episodes, and we'll start off with the first team. Unfortunately, well, actually,
Speaking
not.
of Taylor Swift,
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I was gonna say, yeah, speaking of Taylor Swift, the Kansas City Chiefs. So, hey, they didn't show Taylor Swift as much last year like they did the year before, right?
well, Travis kind of sucked, so there wasn't really opportunities to show up.
Pretty much why.
You know,
but the team
Travis didn't find the end zone a lot last year.
No, he did not. But the team wasn't that bad. In fact, they were actually the best in the AFC, finishing 15-2 last year and ending in that Super Bowl appearance against the Philadelphia Eagles. Best regular season record in franchise history. They were impressive, man. First seed in the AFC, 9th straight AFC West title. Nothing crazy if you're a Chiefs fan. You're used to this type of success.
No, the crazy thing they did was 9-0 in one possession games. That's the craziest thing they did.
Yeah, whether it was some black magic voodoo or whatever
That's
the
what
football
good teams do. Like, we can say all we want how fluky it was. When you have Andy Reid and Mahomes, you're gonna do well in the one possession games.
Mm-hmm.
That's just Andy Reid being a good coach.
Yeah, and then you had those games where it was like blocked field goals that were occurring.
Yeah, that happens too. But I bet like if we watched the full game, we could point to 3 or 4 other moments where the Broncos had a chance to score and didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they should have done this, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, so it's just to beat the Chiefs, you gotta be at your best.
Exactly.
And look, only two teams were able to defeat them. One of them being the Buffalo Bills, who in Week 11 were the first loss for the Chiefs.
And they would trade it right now to win that AFC Championship.
Oh man, and we'll talk about the AFC Championship in just a bit too. But yeah, 9-0 start to the regular season before falling to Buffalo in Week 11. Chiefs were 7-2 against teams that made the playoffs, which ties an NFL record, or tied an NFL record, I should say, for most wins versus postseason teams in a single season. Patrick Mahomes, not the best season for him last year, was short of 4,000 yards. Didn't make the Pro Bowl, so he wasn't even elected into the Pro Bowl because obviously any team that makes the Super Bowl isn't invited to the Pro Bowl, but he wasn't even invited in the first place. Travis Kelce, despite a quote-unquote down year, still led the team with 823 receiving yards, so take that as
that's just more of Kelce's volume. That's because Mahomes likes to target Kelce. I think Kelce still had like 120 targets last year.
Despite his aging self, Kelce will always be Mahomes' number one target because
we talk about this all the time with like Daniel Jones and Darius Slayton, or like that safety blanket guy. Travis Kelce just is that safety blanket for Patrick Mahomes.
No matter if he's double covered, triple covered, Mahomes will always try to find a way, and he did so. As he was, he led the team in receiving. Xavier Worthy, though, very impressive last year, over 700 total scrimmage yards, 9 touchdowns. We saw his potential in Week 1 when he had that reverse for a touchdown as well against the Ravens, and that was the Ravens game Week 1. Yes, it was. Right? Was it Ravens Chiefs?
Ravens Chiefs started off this season. Yep, on Thursday night.
That's what it was. That
was Isaiah Likely's foot.
The toe. That was tough to watch. Literally, it could be a whole different story if Ravens won that game. But anyways, 15-2. They made the playoff. They took care of Houston easily, and then the Buffalo game came in the AFC Championship. And oh my goodness, the Bills were so close. They were so close, but just so many key moments in that game where the Bills just couldn't get it done. What was the 4th down play? What was it, drop? Yeah, it was the drop play was it Kincaid? It was Kincaid that dropped it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Or one of the tight ends dropped it. The 4th down reach or the 4th down tush push or something where they almost got. Just a bunch of moments there in that game where Buffalo just choked it away and let the Chiefs get the Super Bowl. So, but then, oh man, Philadelphia got the job done against Kansas City. 40-22 for the Eagles as they won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And the score does not reflect how bad the Chiefs were against Philadelphia. They had their way. The
Mahomes
Eagles
did have
did.
100 yards for the third quarter.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like he
saying.
was in the
Offense could not get
late in the
anything
third
going.
quarter. It's like I don't think Mahomes had 100 yards yet.
Dude, the offense could not get anything going. The defense just looked like crap. Well, we all know about the dagger play from Hurts to Devontae Smith that just sealed the deal for everyone. And we saw for those who haven't seen the clip yet, there's a clip out where we see Sirianni call the dagger play. Before he does that, the Chiefs are like, "Hey, if Brady can do it, so can we." As referencing the Brady 28-3 comeback against the Atlanta Falcons when he was a member of the Patriots. But after that dagger play, you could just see all the Chiefs players so dejected and just they told themselves, hey, let's go out there and see what we can do. There was just no shot. The deficit was just too big, and that was the end of the Chiefs. That's how the end of the Chiefs 2024 season went about. But hey, look, they're still one of the best teams in the AFC. This offseason, they made sure of that. I'm sure they lost guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Reed, Samaje Perine, Justin Watson, McCole Hardman, Joe Thuney was traded away to the Bears. But hey, they still brought back Trey Smith on a franchise tag. They signed Jalen Moore away from the 49ers to play backup right tackle behind Jawan Taylor. They signed Christian Fulton, Jerry Tillery, safety Mike Edwards. They brought back Nick Bolton and Hollywood Brown as well. But in the draft, they signed a guy. They drafted a guy, Josh Simmons from Ohio State. He's projected to be the starting left tackle for the Chiefs. But other draft picks include Amar Lam.
That guy's a carbon copy of Lane Thomas, by the way. If you look at his size and build, it's Lane Thomas.
You mean Lane Johnson, right?
Lane Johnson. Sorry, I don't know.
No, you're good.
Lane Thomas.
You're good. You're good. But yeah, dude, he's a intriguing prospect to watch because he's going to be thrown into the fire at left tackle. So I'm excited to see that. But other draft picks include Norman Lott, the defensive tackle in the second round, Ashton Gilote, the edge in the third, Noah Williams in the third as well, Jalen Royals, who's a wide receiver in the fourth round, Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker from Oregon in the fifth, and Rashad Smith, the running back from SMU in the seventh round. So, by the way, Brian came up with the burning questions for the AFC West in this one. So, Brian, what is the question you have for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, it's kind of a simple one. Is this Chiefs team good enough to go back to the AFC Championship for the 8th straight season? That's I think the big thing I would mind. And in my opinion, you never want to bet against the Chiefs because they're just so good.
Do.
But I don't think they improved enough to keep up with like the Bills and the Ravens. I think the Ravens and Bills got really good this offseason, and they've entered the same class as Kansas City. So as much as I want to bet against the Chiefs, I do think this is a year that streak ends, and we either see Lamar get his big win or Allen get his big win.
Okay. So all they have to do is just make it, correct? All they have to do is
just make it to the AFC Championship game.
I think they it's just like I would agree with you. I do. They're always gonna figure it out.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't bet against them. It's so hard to bet against them. I'm just going to this year because eventually the luck has to run out.
Has to, right? But I don't know. I think it lasts just one more year because these boys always figure it out. They obviously still have the best quarterback, arguably in the league, despite he didn't have as much as great as a year last year like he did in years prior. He's still really good. He'll still find his guys. He has incredible arm talent. By the way, what's it called? Dan Orlovsky, not to go too off topic here, released his top 10 quarterbacks in terms of mechanics, and Mahomes wasn't in his top 10, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, has he not seen Mahomes' ability to just sidearm throws or what? Ridiculous.
The only way you don't put Mahomes in like your top mechanics if it's like top mechanics to like replicate because it's hard to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean I love Dan, but he was not the best.
Every so often you get a wrong one, it happens.
And that's a wrong one right there. But no, Mahomes he's gonna have a quote unquote bounce back year this year. I feel like and still for over 1,000 yards, just have a statistically better year compared to last year. I fully expect Travis Kelce as well. I know he's getting old. I know he is, but I do think he has a bounce back season of sorts. You mentioned that he kind of was struggling last year. He still led the team in receiving, but that's kind of more reflective of just the lack of receiving weapons with Kansas City, and more, or yeah, and less of Kelsey getting old, I should say. So I think he'll bounce back. A second year for Xavier Worthy, who was electric last year as well. Rasheed Rice for however many games you're going to have him for, and you still have Hollywood Brown, who when healthy is a deep threat down the field. Defensively is always a solid unit. I think my only concern, if anything, is that offensive line. Josh Simmons, right, first year for him, protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side is going to be a big responsibility. And I know they brought back Trey Smith, which is fantastic, but he plays right guard. The left guard is Mike Caliendo, who I forget if he was good. I don't, but it's his third season. So I mean, look, it's just the offensive line in general.
Yeah.
They have solid guys. Not Caliendo. Jawan Taylor is who I'm worried about, because he's had his struggles last year as well. So both tackle spots are a concern for me. But look, the inside guys are fine. But yeah, as long as Simmons can hold up and perform his responsibility well, I think the Chiefs are going to be okay. I don't see any other weaknesses on this team. Maybe running back if anything, but Isaiah Pacheco is going to be fully healthy and ready to go. And if not, they still have Kareem Hunt and Elijah Mitchell behind him to fill his spot as RB1. So yeah, all things considered, I just don't see a world where the Chiefs don't make the AFC Championship. I feel like it must be nice to just see your team there and it's just be like, okay, that's nice. Yeah. You know, like
it's like New England fans for years said the season didn't start till the AFC Championship game. It's like, man, that must be nice that you could just like pencil yourself in.
That's when it like mattered.
Brady's marketing or like the management team used to like just block out whatever Super Bowl day because they're like, it's more probable or not we're gonna be there, so might as well not schedule anything for that week.
Like the regular season for the Chiefs seems like the preseason where they just people don't really pay attention as much. Like obviously they'll still watch the games, but they fully expect the Chiefs at the end of the day to make the playoffs and make the AFC Championship.
Like the Chiefs will win 14 games this year. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
that must be nice.
But I will say for sure the Chiefs will make it, but they're gonna lose in the AFC Championship. I think that's when Chiefs will be like, oh, maybe we're not as unstoppable like we used to be. And I think I did it last year, but I'm gonna do it again. The Bills will be my pick for the AFC. So it'll be Bills Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Bills will take care of business. I know, boring matchup. I get it, but hey, look, I just think Buffalo will finally get it done. Hopefully. So, great question there to start. We move on from the Chiefs to the Los Angeles Chargers. What a team! I will say I was very happy about the Chargers season last year. First year under Jim Harbaugh, 11-6. What a turnaround! They went from 5-12 and 23 to a playoff berth in 24. So it's crazy what a good head coach can do. And Jim Harbaugh definitely turned that team around. Justin Herbert, outstanding season, over 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. For context, he had 10 picks in 2022, but he's had that same number in the past 2 seasons combined, which included the 3 like he did last year. So with the exception of the postseason, he has not turned the ball over. But we'll get to that postseason in just a bit. J.K. Dobbins, what a comeback season for him. Over 900 rushing yards. Let McConkey shine as a rookie, becoming Herbert's favorite target. We were so worried about the Chargers' receiving corps last year, but McConkey said, not to worry. I got you. Had over 1,100 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns. Both of those stats broke the rookie record for each category in terms of the Chargers' rookie records, I should say. But the defense as well. That they made themselves known. They allowed just 17.7 points per game, and that was the best in the league. And some players to note from that defense, Tuli Tupulotu led the team with 8.5 sacks, followed by Bud Dupree and Khalil Mack. And in the secondary, Tarheeb Steele, who was a late-round pick, had a fantastic year with 4 interceptions. But all good things must come to an end, and for these boys, their playoff run ended quickly as soon as they got in, as they fell to the Texans in the wild card round, 32-12. But what a terrible game for Justin Herbert, 14-32. Had 1 touchdown, but 4 interceptions. So much for not turning the ball over as much in the regular season. But because when it counted, He just was just throwing dots to the other team.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Herbert in just a bit more as well. But this offseason, they lost some guys, of course. Joey Bosa was released to free up cap space, and he's in Buffalo now. Puna Ford left in free agency as well. But they brought back Khalil Mack. They brought back Thierry Tart. They signed Bradley Bozeman. They also signed running back Najee Harris, DB Donovan Jackson, and Benjamin St. Juste, and a defensive end to Sean Hannon and Quan Jones, who will have pivotal roles on that defense. And recently, we heard about Rashawn Slater, who unfortunately had a season-ending injury.
Major blow.
Major blow. He got paid too, like day or two before.
Yeah.
So it was bad timing on all levels. But they signed David Sharp, who will replace Slater. So
yeah, I think he's gonna play right tackle. I think Alt's shifting to left.
Yes, I think so. Sharp's gonna be the backup. So you're right. Alt's gonna be left tackle, and then Trey Pipkins, the third, will be filling in that right tackle spot.
Yep.
But still unfortunate nonetheless for sure. But they also made some moves in the draft though. Maron Hampton, or the running back from UNC, in the first round, followed by Trey Harris, the receiver from Ole Miss, in the second round, who was one of Jackson Dart's favorite targets. Excited for that Giants episode, by the way, to talk about New York and just good things there. But anyways, they also signed in the draft Jameer Caldwell, the defensive tackle from I forgot where he went, but nonetheless, defensive end Colin Kennard, Keandre Lambert-Smith, the receiver, Oronde Gaston, the second, the tight end, Branson Taylor, the offensive tackle, and R.J. Mickens, the safety, round out the draft class. So, with all things considered, Justin Herbert, hey, 2 playoff games, not the best in both.
No.
But your question is,
will Justin Herbert finally get his first playoff win? And to me, I hate to say it, but the answer is unfortunately no. And this is why. This is nothing against Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's going to have a great season. I'm very high on him in fantasy. If you listen to the Belly Up Fantasy Show, I think I had him ranked 7th in my quarterback rankings. I think he's in for a big season. The problem is this Chargers team is going to be a very run-heavy team, and there's a lot of questions on that offensive line, even before the Slater injury. There's a lot of questions on their guards and center. They weren't sure what they're going to do. They signed Mekhi Becton to try to shore that up, but, Becton's kind of been hot and cold throughout his career. He's had injury problems throughout, so we don't know how much of an impact that's going to have. And now you're losing your world left tackle in Slater. I like Joe a lot. He's going to be a great lineman. As I watched him for years at Notre Dame. He had 4 penalties his entire career. He'll be great at left tackle, but the rest of that line just scares me. And we know, if you don't have a good offensive line, your run game is going to struggle. And if you build your entire identity around the run, that's going to be a problem. I think this Chargers team is good enough to make a playoff run. They'll probably make a wild card spot, but mix that offensive line problems, plus their cornerback struggles as well. When you play in the AFC, you need good corners. I think it's another wild card exit for the Chargers.
Damn. Look, I he's had 2 bad. You look at his. Compare his regular season to his postseason stats. It's 2 different versions of Herbert when it comes to that stuff. But I think for me, like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I look at his team around him. I get those questions with the O-line, right? But Mekhi Becton, look, I know there's question marks we have about him, and I understand that when you go from Philly to the Chargers, these are 2 different teams, and the Eagles, as we hate to admit it, they have the best offensive line coach.
Oh, the Eagles
in the NFL. They take care of their
the best run organization in football. You can make that argument.
Yeah, but their offensive line is just like this. So like he was literally a bust with the Jets and came to the Eagles.
Well, that's not saying much.
Oh yeah, good point.
We could do a whole hour show on bust for the Jets. And it's just us rattling off players they drafted.
They have many of them, I tell you. And Mekhi Becton was one of them, but went to Philly and turned his whole career around with them. And then so he's out part of the Chargers as well, who will be on the right side of the line. And I get those question marks there, but I mean, all solid. Pipkins, Pipkins was the left tackle before Alt was there, and he was solid himself. As long as Becton is himself like he was with Philly, I know center is a question mark. I don't know who Zion Johnson is really, but Bradley Bozeman's a solid veteran as well. So to me, it's a solid offensive line unit. It's not that bad. And you look at the core around Herbert, Najee Harris, and Marion Hammer is going to take the pressure off him on that offense. And you bring back a guy in Keenan Allen, which is fantastic. Herbert and Allen were quite the duo when Allen was there, and when Herbert joined the team, of course, as well. And then you have McConkey, who I think will continue his outstanding rookie season. Quentin Johnson,
I think he's gonna be in like 100 catches this year. I think.
Yeah, so he's gonna be solid. Quentin Johnson, as long as he doesn't drop the ball as much, he's like the Darius Slayton.
But his stock is not as important now that you have Keenan Allen. He drops on the depth chart a lot.
Oh yeah, he's to me receiver 3 because Keenan Allen slides into that receiver 2 spot.
Yeah. So you don't need to rely on him as much. So the drops are a concern, yes, but they're not it's a lot better that your wide receiver 3 has drop problems than your wide receiver 2.
There you go. And then you look behind them. I'm obviously they have Trey Harris, who I'm excited to see as well, and then Keandre Lambert-Smith. So far in the preseason, he's done quite well. So a good receiving core, and then defensively, I know you have question marks about the cornerback positions. I get it, but Tarheeb still, he's probably going to lead that secondary unit again. He had an outstanding year last year. He's going to do it again this year as well. Derwin James is always solid. So defensively, there is worry a little bit, but I think they'll be okay. But of course, the question is about Herbert. I think he will. You think about the experience he's had. He's had 2 bad experiences in the playoffs, and I think it's just a mental thing with him, really. I think he just needs to realize, damn, the playoffs are just another game, and I've been here before twice, so I shouldn't be having these struggles. Because he's a great regular season quarterback. He is, but I think his mind just needs to be
similar to Philip Rivers. It sucks.
Yeah,
because it's just a guy that Philip Rivers was a great quarterback. He put up a lot of good records. He just never had that playoff success, whether that be the team around him or just, a choke here or there. And Herbert, unfortunately, has had kind of a similar path right now.
So I think for him, he just needs to realize, hey, look, I've been here twice before. If I make the playoffs again, it's going to be my 3rd time around. I shouldn't be having these struggles. So I think it's just all a mental thing with him. I think having Jim Harbaugh obviously helps as his head coach, 2nd year together. So I think for me, shaking off his playoff struggles is getting out of that wild card round. That's all I could ask for from Herbert this year. If he makes the postseason, just get out the wild card round. Because once you make the divisional championship, you're going to run into some sort of Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City,
you reach the next tier team. And I think we're both comfortable saying that Chargers are in that 2nd tier of AFC teams.
Yes. They'll get through the wild card round, but if they face one of those top 3 teams, it's probably going to be the end of it. But at least they made it to the next round, and they can just continue to build on that. And, because the roster is not quite there yet to compete with those top 3 dogs of the AFC. So great question.
And when you have a Harbaugh coaching your team, you're going to win games you're not supposed to.
Damn right you are. Yeah, he's a great head. I'm glad he's back in the NFL. It's good to see him back. But great question there. Love. That's another great burning question that you created, my friend. So good stuff there. All right. 3rd down. We are on to the 3rd team in the AFC West, and that is the Denver Broncos, who finished 10-7 last year. First winning season since 2016. And their first playoff appearance since their Super Bowl winning 2015 season, as we all know, led by Peyton Manning and his old self. They snuck into the last year's postseason as the 7th seed. More on that shortly. But what a season for Bo Nix. He shined as a rookie.
He shocked the world because I think we all sat here comfortably saying Bo Nix was the 5th best quarterback in the draft. We were kind of surprised he was taking 12th. Right? That's what he did.
Overall. Yes, sir. He was.
Shocked taking 12th overall. I think we all kind of saw him as a day 2 pick. But hey, he showed everyone that it doesn't matter how old I am, how long I was in college for, what problems I might have had, I'm going to ball out.
At over 3,700 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, a 66.3% completion rate, and a passer rating of 93.3. Not bad for the young man from Oregon. I tell you, he had a great season. I just loved watching him play last year. Slow start last year, but finished the season off strong. Of course, and like I said, we'll talk about the postseason run in just a bit. Patrick Surtain is a top 5 corner for a reason. He was AP Defensive Player of the Year last year, first DB to win it since 2019. So great stuff to him. Obviously, when your name is not called as much during games, you're doing a good job
Yeah.
when it comes to the cornerback
It's what we
position.
talked
And
about with Sauce Gardner yesterday. Yeah, a couple
yes,
weeks ago when we talked about
yes.
how it's a great contract. The stats just don't match it because when you're a good corner, your stats do suffer a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. And like it's like because you don't really get targeted often because the quarterback knows if I target that side, it's gonna end up badly for me. And that's another example with Patrick Surtain. And even when quarterbacks did target him, he made him pay. So I love Surtain. He's the top 5 corner, no doubt for sure. Are probably number 1 on most people's list. Let's be honest. And props to the coaching staff last year. Sean Payton, his leadership is always
He
solid.
reestablished himself. I think
He
people
did.
kind of I don't want to say forgot how good of a coach he was, but like we were a few years removed from the Super Bowl. His Saints tenure kind of ended with some heartbreak here and there. They never kind of got over. There was the Bounty Gate scandal. So like we kind of forgot. This was a reminder that Sean Payton is one of the best coaches of the 21st century.
Yeah, and I know Broncos fans were kind of like disappointed in Peyton's first year with them. Obviously, him and Russell Wilson had a little partnership that lasted not too long, and those guys didn't work out. But sometimes all you need is your guy, and Peyton got his guy in Bo Nix, and they were just they were outstanding together. And that honestly, that partnership is what I picture with our guy Dayball and Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, I cannot be talking about the Giants right now. That's for the next episode. Gosh, I gotta stop. No, Sean. Thursday. There you go. But Sean Payton's leadership and experience definitely helped out or was a big contributor to the Broncos making the postseason last year. And Vance Joseph, dude, he was a defense coordinator last year, and they were great. 3rd in points allowed. I think led the league or was among the league leaders in sacks. They were 7th in total defense. They were just a great unit on that defense was. And hey, that all led to that Week 18 game against the Chiefs, where all they needed to do was just win and get in, and they got in 38-0 win over the Kansas City Chiefs.
To be fair, Carson Wentz was the quarterback.
Hey, we don't gotta mention that. Hey, we don't gotta mention that.
Let's paint a little different picture.
Dang it, man! I didn't want to mention that. I was like in my notes. I was like, do not mention the Chiefs have their backups and just
don't mention that Carson Wentz somehow is still in the league.
He's not bad as a backup, man. Hey, maybe if things don't work out.
Actually, no, he's might be a free agent.
Hey, the UFL. Or
Canada. Yeah, go to Canada, buddy. It's time. You play North Dakota State, they'll love you.
There's just something with North Dakota State quarterbacks that they don't work out.
No, I don't want to say that about Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz. I'm going to defend Carson Wentz here. This is shocking because he's a Philly.
Wow.
Carson Wentz had an MVP season before he tore his ACL that season, right? That was the injury he suffered.
Mm-hmm.
Before he tore the ACL, if you look at the numbers, they were great. And then the following season, he kind of struggled, which is to be expected from major knee injury. And then he got hurt again. And then he got scared to get hit. That mental thing can screw with you and mess with your whole career. I truly believe that if Wentz never tore his ACL or hurt his knee, or whatever he got hurt in that game against the LA Rams, he is still a starting quarterback in this league and probably puts together a Jared Goff-esque type career, like Alex Smith type career, like solid. No one's going to say it's Hall of Fame worthy, but just a good quarterback.
You think the Eagles still take Hurts?
In
the draft?
No, I don't think so. Well, here's the thing about Hurts. Hurts was confusing because originally they thought Hurts was going to be like a Taysom Hill type quarterback for the Eagles. That's what they originally thought he was.
Like just a guy you put under center just to like run the football and
So maybe he is still drafted, but I don't think the Eagles are as quick to switch it if Wentz is a good caliber quarterback.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's just bad luck.
It's a butterfly effect. Yeah,
it's just bad luck. This is what it is.
But I think Eagles fans are okay with Carson Wentz not working out because they did get 2 Super Bowls out of it.
They get.
Because we don't know if Carson Wentz leads that team to a Super Bowl, all right?
Yeah, sure. That first Super Bowl that was won by Nick Foles, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Wentz got him there, and that's what
Wentz
Eagles
got him there. But
for.
like, you got to remember when Wentz went down, the Eagles were able to build this underdog narrative about themselves, despite them being the first seed in the NFC.
They're just like, yeah, we're still, we're not the favorites. We're always going to be doubted by and blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Like
And
the
then,
vibes, there was a vibe switch on the team, and that might have worked out, which that vibe switch doesn't happen if Wentz is still under center.
and yeah, the second Super Bowl, obviously, where
That was
yeah,
Jalen Hurts.
that was just Jalen Hurts, and
But
he
if Wentz is starting, who knows if they get back
who
there?
knows? There you go. Who knows?
And
Uh,
there's a super dark timeline where Wentz wins 4 Super Bowls in a row for the Eagles, and I'm really up. I'm not doing this.
I thank God we don't have to explore that, right? Anyway,
Exactly. That's if you ever watch Community, that's the dark timeline. We don't talk about that timeline.
no, definitely not. Maybe in the alternate universe, maybe our alternate selves are experiencing that right now, my friend. But
My alternate
thankfully,
itself is not. It's doing something else.
the same,
he's
same as
he's
we're.
in a different country.
I hope I'm liking some other sports in the alternate universe.
He's
where,
a fisherman somewhere else. Is what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, you go.
He moved to a different country. He's now just like a crab fisherman or something.
Different career. Yeah, Bo Nix, 4 touchdowns in that game against the Chiefs and had over 300 yards, so he was outstanding. So they made the playoffs, and that playoff game against the Bills, they got off to a good start. There was a Bo Nix, a Troy Franklin touchdown pass, and to open the game, and I was like, oh crap, Denver, we upset City against Buffalo. Didn't really want to see it because I was rooting for the Bills, but wouldn't mind if the Broncos made it. And the Bills said, all right, let's kind of get serious now. And they took care of business. 31-7 was the final score in that wild-card game. So a short-lived playoff run for Denver, just like it was for the Chargers. But hey, a promising season. And they signed quite a lot of guys in free agency, I tell you. They signed Drake Greenlaw. They signed Talanoa Hufanga for the 49ers, both a linebacker and safety respectively. So they got those guys on 3-year deals. They signed Evan Ingram, who we all know, former Giant, former Jaguar as well. 2 years, $23 million to take over as the
Jaguar. Because this Evan Ingram is not the Evan Ingram we had. This is a different Evan Ingram.
Nope, he changed himself. Don't know what he did, or maybe he just needed to get out the toxic relationship he had with us. But I digress. But yeah, he's good now. He's a top 10 tight end.
He was coached by an adult and not whatever Joe Judge and Pat Shermer are. Actually, that's not fair. Pat Shermer's an adult. Shermer's fine. He's just not a good head coach. He's a great OC.
Yeah, it was more. Yeah, it was just Judge and just his ability.
Judge is an adult. Judge is an idiot.
Yeah, he's a big.
Ole Miss, fire him. What are you doing?
Hey, maybe he's just good as a just analyst or whatever he is over there. He has a lesser role in that offense now. Hey, remember Jackson Dart was being coached by Joe Judge.
Don't say that.
Okay,
don't put that in the ether.
He had to deal with him. I'm just saying. But the other signings of Broncos re-signed DJ Jones on a 3-year extension. He's a defensive lineman. They brought back Matt Pert, former Giant, as former Giant offensive tackle on a 2-year, $7 million deal. And Cortland Sutton got paid as well, 4 years, $92 million extension. And Zach Allen, defensive lineman, 4 years, $102 million extension as well. In the draft, they signed Jahdae Barron at 20th overall, a cornerback from Texas who will line up opposite the Patrick Surtain the second. That's a good corner duo right there. Second round, RJ Harvey, explosive running back from UCF. He is someone that we could potentially see as RB1 down the line here with the Broncos.
Down the line, I think by week 4.
Really? Okay.
I think RJ Harvey's. I thought RJ Harvey was going to be really good before this season started, and they signed J.K. Dobbins, so it kind of lessened it a little bit. But I think he's still going to be explosive enough and going to take that job away from him.
Yeah, that's my one worry with Harvey. It's like, is he?
Yeah, see, that's why like Harvey, I would like because we talked about him a lot in fantasy. Like I had Harvey as like a 7th round guy. Now he's kind of fallen to more of like a bench piece, but like he could be a steal for you late in rounds.
Yeah, and so far in the preseason, we've seen. I think Harvey was RB1.
Harvey took a lot of snaps on whenever the Broncos played.
Yeah, it was Saturday, Sunday. I think it was Saturday. I guess the Niners. Then Harvey was impressive, so we'll see how that goes. But other picks include receiver Pat Bryant, defensive end Savion Jones, edge K Robinson, punter Jeremy Crenshaw in the 6th round, and Caleb Launder, the tight end, in the 7th round. Both a punter and developmental tight end prospect, respectively, there. But your burning question, I assume, is on Bo Nix, my friend. So
the question is, it's very similar to what we had with Drake May. Is can Bo Nix take the next step this season? And I think I'm going to be positive about him. I think he can. I really like this Broncos offense. They signed Courtland Sutton to an extension, or they're working on one with him, so he should stay in Denver for a long time. That was kind of Bo Nix' guy in the red zone. He took a lot of red zone targets and touchdowns. That's big for him. Evan Ingram, it's always good to have a good tight end for a young quarterback. And let's not forget, the Broncos last year didn't have a great running back room. It was kind of always a running back by committee, and no one wanted to step up. Now he has two really good running backs in J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. So even if Bo Nix, it's no longer all on him to get the offense going. They can do more runs with, Harvey and Dobbins. They can, do screen passes and stuff and all that. And what helps Bo Nix the most is he doesn't have to be the star of the show. He can be a game manager quarterback, and this defense is going to be, I think, the best in the NFL this season. So I think they're going to win a lot of games through that defense. I think the Broncos are the best team in this division, not named the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's really, unless Bo Nix just has to play average this season, and the Broncos can make some noise.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this question in depth. I was like, what is this like when it comes to Bo Nix taking this next step? Like, what does that mean? I was looking at his stats, I was looking at everything, and I was like, okay, so he can bring down his turnovers. He had 12 interceptions last year. Definitely can work on that. So that, to me, that's one thing that shows that's one thing that he can show me this season, that it's like, hey, he is taking that next step. He can always improve his accuracy. He completed 66% of his passes last year, which is not bad, but hey, could be improved on as well. And making better reads. And honestly, he will do all those things. It helps he spent the offseason with Drew Brees and Tom Brady. I'd tell you that much. Like,
yeah, that helps a little bit.
Those are two goats, man, and he spent spending time with them.
Now, actually, no, I don't know if he grew up watching them, because he is like 50 apparently.
Yeah, he's out of all the guys. I was like the one worry, I think, during that, because I know we were we on together during that draft? Yeah, we were.
Yeah, that was like the draft.
Yeah, that was the one worry with him. Where it was like, okay, his age and blah blah blah. But hey,
this guy started in college, like when we were freshmen in high school.
Yeah,
like he was in college for a long time.
Yeah, but sometimes experience helps in college, and he's just an example of that, man. He came into the NFL, and of course, he
he started college in 2019. Like,
oh, so that was my freshman year. No, my sophomore year of college.
No, that was. I mean, I was my junior year
of college.
No, that was my senior year of high school.
There we go. Yeah, that's my sophomore year of college. I was like, okay, and still, yeah. I mean, you were in your senior year of college when he entered the NFL. So
yeah,
right? Was that?
No, he was a senior. He was a senior in college, and I was a senior in college.
Yeah,
we got drafted when I was a senior in college.
There you go. So y'all graduated the same year, basically. No, but so in general, yeah, it's good that he spent the offseason with two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, or NFL history, I should say. The weapons by his side are obviously impressive. You have Sutton, you have Ingram, Dobbins, and Harvey in the backfield. In camp, Sean Payton has praised him for his sharper decision making and faster reads. There's less hesitation and more confidence in the pocket that he's seen from him, which is great to hear. He's absorbing the play. This is his second year with the playbook, and he's able to just spend the offseason absorbing it more and all those things. And hey, in his first year to be named the 64th best player amongst us by his peers from last year, that's impressive, I tell you. And you just add in his drive and his passion for the game that we've seen, and he's honestly, to me, someone who will take that next step as a sophomore. And honestly, hey, top 10 quarterback the next 5 years. It's realistic to say. I think he will get there.
He's definitely he's definitely gonna be a top 10 quarterback. You can make the argument he's a borderline one right now, but within the next 3 seasons, he'll be in the top 10 and making his way to 5.
Yeah. So for me, for sure, top 15. Obviously, he is in that conversation for top 10. He's probably not gonna.
I think he's right in that like 10 to 12 range is kind of where you find him.
There you go, and that's not overreacting at all. And of course, if people have Jaden Daniels in their top 10. And after one
season, Jaden Daniels in top 5. Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Some people haven't had, like, I think he's like at the highest you could put him is 5, because I don't think he's in that upper echelon yet.
Even I think for me, he's not even 5 at all. I think it's
No, I
not.
don't think. I think the highest you can put him is 5.
Yeah,
I don't have him as 5, but like I
you would
could
have to make
see the argument you could make for him at 5.
and I bet and people would have to make a great argument for him to
Yes.
to be at 5. So that's when they're like
Mm-hmm.
borderline. But yeah, not bad for Bo Nix, not bad for a guy that was drafted behind Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., and JJ McCarthy to have the season that he had.
5th quarterback off the board, and you can make the argument he's the second best quarterback. Because I don't think he's got enough to jump Daniels, but he's got enough to jump the rest.
Yep, he's definitely better than Williams so far, but better than Penix for sure, and better than, of course, JJ McCarthy, who missed last season with injury.
Well, I don't want to put McCarthy on that list. It's unfair to judge JJ McCarthy. The dude tore his ACL.
But at this point in time, though, he is the 5th best quarterback in that class.
Yes, because JJ McCarthy's never taken a snap in the NFL.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this season. But I mean, so far in camp and in the preseason, so far he looks okay.
He seemed fine. But when you have that offense, you don't need to be great. Just be a game manager.
Just game manager. Get to Jefferson and when Addison plays. So but yeah, that is the Broncos for you. And then finally, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders. Hey, shout out to John Gruden though. He got I guess the NFL he was innocent. I guess he wasn't involved in the whole scandal. From what I heard, apparently. To be exact, he won the case in Nevada against the NFL in regards to the whole email stuff. We can dive into that another day, but
yeah. Hey, I mean, like, if that opens the door for a coaching position, like, I love him doing the Gruden's QB room and stuff, but I would love to see John Gruden on the sideline again.
Yeah, I would. He was a fun coach to watch.
He's a fun coach.
He was fun, and he just.
He wants to go to college. Is a big thing he wants. He wants to be an SEC coach. Now that I can get into.
That I can get into as well. I mean, I would love to for him to coach my team, the Bears.
I think he does need to go to like a Cal, a Tulane, something like that, and then go to like a big SEC program. Like I don't think tomorrow he could be the Auburn head coach. You know?
But some sort of like mid-tier, low-tier school.
Yeah, like a Big 12 ACC, a really good Group of 5 team. You know, maybe that's something he can explore.
Some sort of I would agree on that. He just has this big ball of energy, and he loves the game. Like we saw. With Gruden's quarterback camp and all those things. Like it's just. He loves ball, and I just love watching him, with his videos and whatnot. The Raiders, they had
an interesting offseason.
They did, but 2024 was not the best season for them whatsoever. So their offseason was definitely the highlight, or was the offseason was a sign of good things to come for them, but they just had to get through 2024. And they did, just not in a great way. They went 4-13. Their offense was bad. Defense was bad. They both were in the below bottom rank of the league in offense and defense. It was their first season since 2018 without a win in the AFC West. So they couldn't beat any of their division rivals in the Broncos and the Chiefs and the Chargers. So keep in mind, they were led by Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco, both the head coach and GM respectively. Keep in mind, I said we're led. We'll get to that more in just a bit. And the quarterback situation, no bueno. Gardner Minshew started the season, had a broken collarbone in late November, and in his season, so O'Connell came in.
Brought in AOC.
Yeah, they brought him in, and he had an up and down run, including a thumb fracture and a knee bone bruise. So it was just not the best quarterback year for the Raiders whatsoever. But hey, at least everyone else on the offense was good. Brock Bowers, rookie tight end, 13th overall. Had a great year, led the team in receptions. So no matter who was his quarterback, whether it was Minshew, O'Connell, who else? Ritter was his other quarterback. He was just fine. He's like Malik Neighbors. Literally like
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, led the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. He set several records, made the first team All-Pro, made Pro Bowl, all those good things. So. Great season for the former product from Georgia. Jacoby Myers had a career year as well, over 1,000 receiving yards. This is the first time he passed 1,000 yards. And actually, the Bowers-Myers duo became just the 10th receiving tight end tandem to both surpass 1,000 yards in a season in the last 15 years. So props to those two guys. And surprisingly enough, despite the fact that they had multiple quarterbacks, they led the league in passing attempts with 635. So I don't know if that's a good thing, but hey, that's a stat I wanted to bring up. But defensively, Robert Spillane, great season for him as well. The linebacker had 158 tackles, which was a franchise record. Trayvon Merritt, the safety, had 104 tackles himself and 10 pass deflections, becoming the only Raider since 2000 with 90-plus tackles and 10-plus passes defensed. And Max Crosby only played 12 games last year, but still had 7.5 sacks and 70 tackles for loss. And this is the only time I'm going to do this. The special teams guys and AJ Cole and Daniel Carlson both were solid in their respective categories. Carlson had 125 points scored himself and was perfect inside 40 yards, converting 21 out of 21 of his field goal attempts that were 40 yards. And so yeah, I don't know how to go from there, honestly. I just wanted to highlight the special teams guys because there was just not much to highlight. Their team was just that bad last year. But hey,
yeah,
their offseason, they said Pierce, goodbye. Tom Telesco, see you later.
We're bringing an adult into the room.
Yeah, Telesco, he was the guy from NFL Network. Yeah, that's what I remember him for. Because I was like, where did he go before the Raiders? And he was an NFL Network guy.
They did back-to-back NFL Network guys. Like Mike Mayock wasn't bad enough for them. They're like, let's do that again.
Yeah, they're like, let's get Telesco and see what he can do. No, Telesco was the Chargers guy. I was like, I thought Telesco was an F. I swear.
I was gonna say, I think he might be thinking of Mike Mayock.
Yeah, that's. I was like, wait, I thought
because they brought in Gruden and Mayock at the same time. It's like, so we're just gonna get all the NFL TV guys.
Yeah. That's the mix up there. So my
Rex Ryan coming too.
Well, hey, Telesco was not the best either, so yeah.
I would love if Rex Ryan got another coaching job. Not because he'd be good at it, because it'd be hysterical.
It would just be funny. He has I forgot how he used to be as a coach.
Can he be like the head coach at Fordham? So like he can deal with the New York media
again? Some random college. Like, is Fordham even good? Not even good.
No, Fordham sucks. Fordham's terrible at football. Fordham is a school in the middle of New York. Like, I didn't even know city.
I didn't even know that. They're the definition of a school that so like, you know how Texas and Ohio State play week 1?
Yeah.
Fordham's the type of team where it's like, okay, we just played a tough game against a top 25 team. Let's give you an easy team for week 2.
Yeah, Fordham's
so
your
that way you can recover.
You play Fordham.
There you go. And that's the definition of that. They're that type of team. But hey, look, the Raiders, they brought in John Spytek, who comes from Tampa Bay as assistant GM. They brought in Pete Carroll, who was teaching classes at USC.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Know that? What?
Yeah, he was the professor. I got.
What was he teaching? I would love to know what Pete Carroll was teaching, because I would take every single class with Pete Carroll, and it would not be. If anyone have a question, I got a bunch about what I just thought. Oh no. Why'd you throw the ball? Why'd you put Reggie Bush on the sideline in the 2005 Rose Bowl?
What made you think that throwing the ball at the 1-yard line was going to be a good idea? No, but it's the course that was offered through the US. Oh man, USC is such an incredible campus. Oh, I wish I went there, or I was accepted there. I was not. But anyway, okay, I guess we don't like them. Right. My apologies there.
I love this here. Okay, just point.
I know you can just point, because there's times when we talk about Notre Dame and you just put your finger up. I'm like, what is he? Like the first time we did, I was like, what is he pointing at? I'm like, oh, the flag. There you go. Oh yeah, the pennant. Yeah. But the course is called "The Game Is Life," and the class.
That's such a fake class.
Oh, come on. Okay.
No, that's a class the athletes take to get an easy A.
Hey, easy now. Let's give him credit when credit is due. It seems like a good class. It's offered through USC's Marshall School of Business, so it's a legit class. Not to say that you not to say that you.
No, every class is. There's a lot of fake classes in college.
It seems like a real class to me. It's the syllabus says the intent is to train students to perform at its highest level in all. Okay.
This is a fake class.
Okay, it sounds legit.
Every class sounds legit. Then you go there and you realize this is a fake class.
Okay, a student said that they said, quote, I care deeply about the conversations we've had and the lessons they've sparked.
Yeah, because they just talked about football the entire time. They just talked about when Pete
Actually,
Carroll
they
was the head
don't.
coach at USC and that Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush.
They actually don't. See, the course has a pool of 300 applicants. Students come from different majors and have diverse career aspirations, from musicians to dancers to entrepreneurs to athletes and accountants.
Yep, football. They just talked football the entire time. This
I'm
is a
trying to
blow-off class.
I'm trying to save him, man. See, another student said and she's a communications and lacrosse player. She says, quote, he just somehow finds a way to connect with every single one of us.
Yeah. Football.
I need to stop. Anyways, so I'm failing here.
I know these classes. I know them. These are blow-off classes.
Well, hey,
these are what I used to look for.
So to defend your point, Juju Watkins, who is one of the best women's college basketball players in the nation, she is also in that class. So.
Interesting.
Anyways, so I did not picture myself defending a school or a class on an episode, but here we are. But hey, Pete Carroll back in the industry where he belongs, which is on a football team as the head coach. And he will be reuniting with a former player of his as the Raiders sent a third-round pick to the Seattle Seahawks this offseason for quarterback Geno Smith, who was subsequently signed to a 2-year, $66.5 million extension. So the Raiders now have their quarterback, so they don't have to worry about the whole quarterback carousel like they dealt with last year. They got their man in Geno Smith. What was it saying? They wrote me off. I ain't right back. That's still one of the coldest lines in the NFL history, I tell you. But they also
he did suck with the Jets. Like everyone does. Yeah. Everyone does a lot of revisionist history with Geno Smith. I watched every single. This was back before NFL Red Zone was like popular, so you only watch what games you had on TV. And growing up in Fairfield County, you watched the Giants and then you watched the Jets. And that was it. So I watched a lot of Geno Smith as a Jet. He was not a good quarterback. He sucked.
He sucked. I'm not gonna say that line, but the A word. I was gonna say he sucked.
Like he has reinvented himself. He has turned his career around. All that feel great for him. But to anyone that says that Geno Smith was a good quarterback his entire career, just was not watching him for the Jets.
They're just little kids that have only seen him play with Seattle. They're like, oh my God, Geno Smith, he was always good. No.
I watched a lot of Geno Smith.
We saw the bad side of Geno Smith. So seeing him go to be where he's at right now, it's heartwarming for us to see because it's like the T was just bad. Yeah. But with Seattle,
he ruined Eli Manning's streak. Everyone forgets that too.
Yep. So that was the bad things that we saw from Geno because he ruined our most precious quarterback of all time in Eli Manning's career and ending his.
Actually, no, he didn't end it. He was just like an unfortunate casualty in that.
Hey, he's the guy that started, so he ruined it. I don't care who made the decision.
Well, he did, but it wasn't like Geno made the choice. That was Ben McAdoo and Jerry Reese and John Mara not knowing how to handle a PR situation correctly.
Never gonna.
And everyone got fired 2 days later.
Never forget.
Like, man, that was a PR nightmare. Let's fire everybody.
I'm never gonna forgive McAdoo for that. I never will. He ruined the streak. You could have just played Eli for one snap. I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not, Eli didn't want to do that. He was like, I want to play the whole game or not at all. He's like, all right.
Oh, play him the whole game then. If he was bad in the first half, then you take him out. I don't know. But hey, Geno Smith, out the Raiders. Woohoo! But they also signed some other guys as well. Jeremy Chin and Eric Stokes, a safety and a quarterback respectively, were signed to bolster the secondary. They added Adam Butler on that defensive line. Linebackers, they made some signings. They got Elandon Roberts, Devin White from Tampa, and Jamal Adams, who's now going to be a linebacker. Well, on the depth chart, he's second string corner, second string safety.
So he's just Landon Collins.
He is great. That's a great one. Yeah. Basically Landon Collins. And I guess, hey, if you want to rejuvenate your career somehow, I guess you can be versatile. Sure.
Talk about the one guy that should have never left the Jets.
Died.
There's a lot of guys that should leave the Jets. That's one that
he was one that shouldn't.
I feel bad. I've been calling out the Jets a lot today. They don't deserve that.
I know, man. Hey, you just showing out your.
Hey, it's game week. All right, we're playing the Jets this week.
That's true. Hey, good point. Good point. That's a good point. Oh, we're going. I'm I heard we'll talk obviously on Thursday about their because they're practicing together. So
Yeah,
yeah. Otherwise,
which is such a far drive from each of them.
I know, right? They didn't lose too many guys. The Raiders did. Michael Gallup was terminated from the reserve list. Christian Wilkins released for his interesting actions, and yeah, they also
Yeah,
traded
interesting actions. That's
interesting
a perfect way to
actions.
put it.
Yeah, there's no need to go into that further than that. I tell you. And then they acquired Thomas Booker the fourth from the Philadelphia Eagles, who's a defensive tackle himself. But then they traded. I just don't know why you trade with the Eagles, but anyways, they traded Jacoyan Bennett the fourth or the second, who statistically is a really good corner. So yeah, way to give the Eagles more cornerbacks. Nice shot, idiots.
It's like
Anyways,
trading with like the Rays. Like you just don't do that, you know?
yeah. Wait,
Tampa.
why don't you trade with the Rays again?
Because the Rays have a great player development. So like if they find someone, they
Uh,
can just turn him into a great player.
oh, like Chandler Simpson came out of
Exactly.
nowhere, but I like that guy. He's fast
Yeah.
as fudge. Woo.
It's like someone made a joke like if the Rays call up, say we're interested in this minor league pitcher, you hang the phone up and do whatever you can to figure out what the Rays liked with him.
Yeah, it's like, what are they trying to do with us here?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Raiders. That was like the one move I didn't like. You never trade with the defending Super Bowl champion. I'm sorry, but hey, whatever. But hey, in the draft, they had a lot of draft picks. Don't know if we're gonna name. I'll just name the key ones. Running back Ashton Gianti in the first round. Jack Beck, the guy in the second, who they got in the second round, the wide receiver from TCU. Dayon Porter, the cornerback from Iowa State. Dante Thornton, the junior, the receiver from Tennessee in the fourth round. They signed two quarterbacks, and Tommy Malloy and Cam Miller in the sixth round. But Malloy is gonna be a quarterback turned receiver, and Miller's gonna remain the quarterback, or vice versa. I don't know. One or the other.
They may
Doesn't matter. They might even. So we all don't know. But all these moves. Look, it's a good draft class. I love Thornton. He's a speedy guy. And so
It's a draft class that's going to pay off very well in a couple seasons
in the future. But let's focus on this year because I assume that's what your burning question.
Yes.
The burning question is about the future, but it's about 2025.
Yeah, so I think we could all make the argument that the AFC West is probably the best division in football. Like just with the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos alone, it's definitely one of the most exciting ones to watch. So, can the Raiders compete with the rest of the division? And I just don't think they're at a point yet. All right, this is still like yes. Pete Carroll's a great coach. He's going to be competitive. They're going to sneak out a game they probably shouldn't win and all that stuff. They have good talent on the roster. The problem is this roster is very top heavy, all right? Like guys like we mentioned, like Myers and Beck and Genty and Smith, they're all great. Devin White and Max Crosby are great on the defense. But like once you get there's a big drop off, and that's a hard thing to overcome. Like they still don't know who's going to be the center or right guard. Like, according to ESPN, Jackson Powers Johnson is listed as both the center and right guard right now. So they got problems on the offensive line. You know, it's going to be a while. And the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs are all way better than they are. So they're going to have a hard time. Like, those are 6 tough games alone. I think this is a team that's going to – they're going to be better than they were last year, but they're still going to be a below 500 team. It's one of those teams – kind of similar to how we feel with the Giants, where like it's a better team than what the record indicates.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll go 6-11, but they're gonna have a lot of one-score games, be competitive. A lot of them, it's like yeah, they're 6-11, but like if this one differently and this one differently, they might be 10-7.
It's just unfortunate that they're in just a tough division.
Yeah,
the Raiders are. Like
if they were in the South, I think they have a great shot at competing.
No, for sure. You can make the argument they could win that division because of just how bad.
I don't win the division because I don't think they're better than Houston, but I think they're second. I think they can finish second in that division.
So they could make the playoffs.
They could make the playoffs. Yeah, it's a wild card team, 100%.
Yeah, because they could beat up on the
Titans. In
that
situation, yes.
Yeah, they could beat up on the Titans and the Colts hypothetically, but
or the Jaguars, yeah.
Yeah. What did I say?
Titans and Colts, or you just left off the Jaguars.
Oh, gotcha. Yes. But yeah, look, I 100% agree with you, and I want to add on to that. They have a middle of the pack schedule in terms of strength of schedule. Yes, we get it. They have Carroll and Geno Smith, so that's two solid pieces at at head coach and quarterback respectively. But like, you mentioned the O line, and Alex Kappa is likely going to play right guard. But like, look at everywhere else. Look, I get it. Jacoby Myers was great as a leading receiver for the Raiders last year. He's always going to be a receiver 2 for me that was forced into the receiver 1 role because everyone else just is just is bad. This year,
but Bowers, in his defense, Bowers is wide receiver 1.
Yeah, and yeah, basically. But of course, as we all know, Bowers is tight end and all those things. But it's like outside of Myers and Bowers, like, what do you got that's proven? Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton's a rookie. Jack Beck has.
I like Jack Beck a lot, but I do. He's a rookie. I can't trust him.
Plus, I think recently in the Raiders, I know take this with a grain of salt, but Thornton was the starting receiver opposite of Jacoby I think it was Myers. Yeah, it was Myers and Thornton as starting at receiver for the Raiders, and the first preseason game at Beck was like second, third string. So, maybe Thornton's passing Beck on the depth chart. Who knows? But we'll see what happens there. But both Beck and Thornton are still improving. The receiving core behind them doesn't look that great at all.
Two targets for 1 reception, 5 yards.
So
not great.
Not a good start for sure. So still uncertainty there. Ashton Gianti, look, rookie running back, obviously an exciting college career, but still, let's see more from him before we make any judgment towards him. Obviously, that first preseason game was 3 carries for -1 yards. Yeesh. And also, young secondary, the cornerback, obviously was a position of need, and they're going to be a young unit there with Darian Porter, Eric Stokes, and Darnay Holmes, former Giant himself there. Not that much confidence for me. I don't have much confidence in that secondary as well. So I don't know, man. I think they won't struggle this year. Well, no, they're not gonna. How do I say this? They're not gonna compete in division. Like I could see a world where they go 0-6 again in division.
Oh, easily.
I really do. I do, honestly, and that's unfortunate. So, I hope they prove me wrong. I do. This Raiders team looks good. With the pieces they have, if all things click, Smith has a great season. Gianti has an outstanding rookie year. Myers, Bowers, and some sort of Thornton or Trey Tucker or Beck, solidify that receiver 2 spot there. Defense somehow shocks a bunch of good things have to go right for them for them to be able to compete with the AFC West teams, and even that may not be enough. So, but that will do it for the Raiders. Record predictions: I have Chiefs, Chargers, basically Chiefs, Chargers, Denver, and the Raiders as from best to worst in division.
I have Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
Okay, so just flipping Broncos, Chargers.
Yeah, I think they could be flipped either way.
Yeah, top 3 teams will make the postseason, just like last year,
easily.
Yeah, and I think, if the Chargers and Denver were to both advance, they could. Well, one of them would have to run into Baltimore or Buffalo in the wild card round, huh? So,
yeah.
I was gonna make a bold prediction and say both would advance to the divisional round, but I don't know if that's.
I mean, you could make that because you could say like one plays Baltimore. Baltimore's not like.
Yeah, the Baltimore chokes,
and then like the other guy gets the Texans, so then they can both advance.
True.
But if one has to go to Denver and one has to go to Buffalo, it's over.
Yeah, it's over for them. Yeah, Josh Allen's gonna tear them up. So. But that is our AFC West division previews for 2025.
Oh, so we have. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about it. Could be Buffalo and Kansas City they go to.
Oh, that's true.
Baltimore could be the first seed,
number 1 seed, and the Chargers and the Broncos may not still advance past the wild card round. Mm-hmm. But hey, sometimes for these,
I think
teams,
one will. I think we'll get. I think there'll be 2 AFC West teams in the divisional round.
All I know is all those top 3 teams in the West will make the postseason, with the Raiders unfortunately sitting out and having to just watch from home.
Yep.
So,
but they're building it right. They are on the right. They're on the right track.
They will compete for sure in 26. Yes.
Depends on the offseason.
I believe they will be ready to go by then for sure. But that will complete the AFC. Woo! Good first 4 weeks of this division preview series here on the Third and 10 podcast. And yeah, for those who haven't seen it already, check out the AFC East, North, and South. Those will be in our description. I got to put it in the description this time, but they will be in the episode description here on YouTube. And then next week, we move on to the NFC as we go to the NFC West to start and make our way down to our boys in the NFC East. But that'll do it for this episode. You can follow us on social media. You can follow me, Nathan_New124. You can follow Brian at BrianPG1016. You can follow our podcast page as well at Third and 10 Pod on Instagram and the Twitter. And then our TikTok page at Third and 10 Podcast. Shout out to our sponsors, SeatGeek. Use the code BellyUpSports for $20 off your first purchase. You can find me, Brian, and our article work, as well as the other amazing writers and podcasts on this network at BellyUpSports.com. For Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next episode on Thursday consists of us reviewing the Giants and Bills game. Spoiler, it was a great one to watch. And we'll also be previewing the Giants and Jets game as well, as they are joint practicing as we are recording this. So we'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, thank you so much for your support and for watching us. Bye.